Zhu Yun returned to school, wanting to relive the memories of when she first enrolled. Back then, she and Li Xuan made a vow after class, whoever betrayed the other would go to hell. In the end, Li Xuan chose to bear the consequences of their separation and was willing to go to hell. He even lied through clenched teeth, telling Zhu Yun he had never loved her, which caused her immense pain. Zhu Yun returned with Tian Shouju. Her parents picked them up from the airport, and both she and Tian Shouju were surprised at how much their hometown had changed. Her mother thought Tian Shouju was a good man and hoped Zhu Yun would stop being so picky and consider settling down with him soon. But Zhu Yun didn't have any romantic feelings for Tian Shouju. Li Xuan, whom Zhu Yun had been searching for, left the correctional facility after saying goodbye to the supervisor. He went to a friend's place, took off the prison uniform, and burned it, never wanting to wear something like that again. The next morning, Li Xuan changed into clean clothes and returned to the company. Zhu Yun went to look for Rendi but found no one at home. Just as she was about to leave, Rendi crawled out from under the bed. She had fallen off while sleeping. Rendi said Geely Corporation was growing stronger but had been blatantly copying foreign games. Still, Geely was something Zhu Yun had poured her heart into. It would be a shame to give it up along with her boyfriend. But Zhu Yun believed Li Xuan would reclaim everything that belonged to him. When he went to prison, he had to leave the company to Gao Zhanhong. Back then, the three of them had a strong bond, and Gao Zhanhong was the one they trusted the most. Li Xuan met Gao Zhanhong at the company and felt it was impressive how big the company had grown. Gao Zhanhong didn't want to say much to Li Xuan. He just said he would buy everything out at once, no negotiations, and he didn't want to see Li Xuan again. But Gao Zhanhong didn't expect Li Xuan to have nothing with him except a single sentence: a traitor must pay the price. After leaving, Xiao Lu encouraged Li Xuan to make a comeback, saying with their skills, they would definitely have a chance. But Li Xuan felt those people weren't worth staying for. When Zhu Yun returned, Li Xuan was watching her from behind but didn't approach. He later went to Rendi's house, wanting to repay the money he owed. Rendi realized Zhu Yun was right. Li Xuan would take back what he had lost, but she hadn't expected their relationship to be reduced to mere money. Rendi called Zhu Yun, asking her to get help from Tian Shouju to authenticate a painting and to help repay Li Xuan the money. Although Zhu Yun didn't want to trouble Tian Shouju, she had no choice under Rendi's request. Zhu Yun and Tian Shouju went to a restaurant to meet Rendi, and coincidentally, Li Xuan passed by and saw them through the window. He was about to greet them but turned away when he saw how close they seemed. Zhu Yun saw Li Xuan from the corner of her eye and hurried after him. Xiao Lu saw this. He had just helped Li Xuan retrieve the money, and snatched the money from Zhu Yun's hands. She got angry and chased him, demanding he tell her about Li Xuan's current situation. At that moment, Li Xuan appeared. Seeing Li Xuan arrive, Tian Shouju sensibly stepped out to leave the two alone. Zhu Yun asked about Li Xuan's situation with concern, but he responded coldly, claiming that whoever she's with in the future has nothing to do with him anymore, and everything between them is over. With that, Li Xuan left, leaving Zhu Yun heartbroken. Though Li Xuan said those harsh words, he hadn't truly let Zhu Yun go. Back home, he kept recalling their past, feeling a deep pain over what was lost. Tian Shouju encouraged Zhu Yun to look for Li Xuan, knowing she still had feelings for him. But Zhu Yun said she had thought it through. Tian Shouju was much better than Li Xuan. Li Xuan could be a real jerk at times, and maybe a clean break was a good ending. Li Xuan went apartment hunting with Xiao Lu. He even told the landlord about having been in prison, but most landlords rejected him, not wanting trouble. Xiao Lu reminded Li Xuan not to mess things up again or no one would rent to them. After thinking it through, Li Xuan agreed and decided not to mention his prison record. They successfully rented a place. Li Xuan passed by the places he and Zhu Yun used to walk together and couldn't help but feel nostalgic. Zhu Yun felt the same. Despite calling Li Xuan a jerk, she couldn't get him out of her mind. Unknowingly, Li Xuan arrived at their old rented apartment. As he sat reminiscing, Zhu Yun also came, but they missed each other. Zhu Yun found the keychain from their school days still on the door lock. Back when Zhu Yun had just entered school, everyone rushed to campus in a hurry. Only Li Xuan was late. When the teacher called the roll, Li Xuan's name was first, but he didn't show up until several calls later, swaggering in with a rebellious air. The classmates all thought he was too much. Later, Fang Shumiao and Zhu Yun went to the cafeteria. Fang Shumiao stepped away to take a call, and Li Xuan, seeing an empty seat, sat down. Zhu Yun quickly told him that it was Fang Shumiao's seat, but he said nothing. When Fang Shumiao returned and saw Zhu Yun eating at someone else's table, she felt awkward and told her that her food was at the next table. Turns out, it wasn't Li Xuan who had sat in the wrong place, it was Zhu Yun, and she had even eaten Li Xuan's half-finished meal. She felt extremely embarrassed. Li Xuan and Gao Zhanhong were assigned to the same dorm. Since Gao Zhanhong's parents were visiting, he asked Li Xuan to hand room 312's key card to his friend, who turned out to be Zhu Yun. They met again, and Zhu Yun's dorm mates teased her about her lucky encounter. In class the next day, Li Xuan was introduced as the top physics scorer in the province's college entrance exam. For the first time, the classmates saw him in a different light. Fang Shumiao was chosen as the class monitor. Since Li Xuan often skipped morning self-study, she messaged him about attending, but Li Xuan dismissed it as pointless. Fang Shumiao, angry, dragged Zhu Yun along to convince him. Their task would be done as long as Li Xuan attended morning classes. Will they succeed on their mission, or fail, and how will it end? If interested, subscribe to get notified out for the next part.